Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pizza Motorcast. This is your host, Dave. I got online with me special guest, the Smokey Bonz, alcohol, funny car. How you doing, Andrew?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Not bad. So
That's good.
first question, Andrew. When and how did you get involved in drag racing?
I started out in drag racing back whenever I was pretty much big enough to walk. I remember climbing in and out of my dad's '69 Camaro through the roll cage when I was probably around 5 or 6. I remember. I distinctly remember the smell of being in a race car, and I can still remember that smell to this day. But after that, in the late '80s, my dad built a Corvette, and that started out as it was blown, but it had 2 Predators on. It wasn't injected on alcohol at that time. But later on in the early '90s, he converted that to a blown injected car.
Okay. So now what?
Those are the early days in drag racing. And then I got started in junior drag racing. I think it was the second year that it came out. I think it came out in '91. I got started in '92. My first year out, I was runner-up at my home track, which was South Mountain Dragway. And it's a little 8-mile track outside of Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Kind of a rough and rugged track. It was short, shut-down area, and there's a pretty good turn at the end. So they used to bring down funny cars back when I ran there. The hot rods from town would come down. Some of the other groups would come down and run. But yeah, the second year I was track champion. The year after that, I was in Indy 2 years in a row. The first year I went red, second round, 499 red, so I was right there. And the second year I went 494 red in the second round as well. It was in 1994. I was a Maryland State Super Tour champion. That event was held at Mason-Dixon. There was a lot of cars there in my class, so I went quite a few rounds that day. I got me and my dad. Well, my dad built that car. I was just kind of observing, but that car got Best Appearing Home Built Junior Dragster at Englishtown. Let's see here. Some of the tracks I've raced at. Indianapolis, Englishtown, which was my favorite track to race at.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Sad to hear it closing.
Yeah, rest in peace, Englishtown.
Maple Grove, which is my home track now. Mason-Dixon, Island Dragway. Had some pretty good, had a really good epic race there, I remember. New Media, South Mountain, and Beaver Springs. Like I said, I helped my dad whenever he was racing the Vet, which was a 65 split window. It had a 355 cubic inch small block. Its best times was 130 in the 8th mile, low 5 seconds. And that was not turning it too hard.
So when did you get out of the junior dragsters?
Let's see. In '96, we pretty much had it up with the racing. My dad got a new job with Nationwide Insurance, so that job opportunity moved us to New York, upstate New York. And then I was up there for my high school days. Got into playing music a lot, playing the drums some more. And then 2000, we moved back to Pennsylvania, to Lebanon, PA. And 2001, too, I got a little seat time in the Corvette, some launches, and half-track pass down at South Mountain. And when the car was up, and when we lived in New York, my dad painted the car. It was black with some graphics, and it went purple with some graphics.
So what? Okay, go ahead.
We took a break. The break was my dad's health. He had some heart issues, and in 2002, we started a family business. We got into painting and sandblasting commercial vehicles, and pretty much anything that could be painted, we would paint. We do a lot of custom painting. But here recently, I've been getting more into fabricating things, welding. Still do the painting on occasion whenever we need something to paint, but other than that, I've been really focusing on my fabricating.
So when did you start drag racing again? What year?
Actually, my dad went out to Michigan and he painted Phil Landrum's Camaro that he built in tribute of his dad's Easy Money that his dad ran back in the day. In turn, Phil hooked him up with a body, old Cruise Pedregon body from the 92 season that he actually won the championship. I have the McDonald's body out in the shop right now. It's not painted the McDonald's colors anymore, but we plan on redoing that body to have for some events. It's not nostalgia. After that, we went to a Great Lakes Funny Car Nationals out at Quaker City when they were having it at Quaker City, and from that point on, me and Dad were like, yeah, well, this is something that we want to get back into, and the rest is history. We got the chassis that's Smokey Bonz right now, we got off Army Armstrong. It was a bare chassis. It had some issues that we've been taking care of here in the past 3.5 years I've been building this car.
So now, last year you ran at the Dennis Salzwimmer's event up there in Keystone?
Yes. Yeah, the Funny Car Nationals is now at Keystone Raceway.
Yeah, Dennis Salzwimmer, he's a good guy.
Yes. Yeah, he puts on a lot of great shows. If you haven't gotten to go to one of these events, you really need to pack up the kids and go see one because it's cheap, family fun. You know, a lot of the things that I'm hearing with sports, especially like the NFL and some of the antics that the crowds are doing these days is just you'll never see that at a drag racing event. I can guarantee that. Yeah, it's a great family sport.
Even the NHRA is not what it used to be, Andrew.
Yeah, the NHRA is definitely not what it used to be. Especially for the nostalgia guys, the Heritage Series gets maybe a page or two in National Dragster, maybe a little article on the funny cars and the dragsters that's going on, but it's really they've lost their roots, I think, along the way due to money and corporate.
Yeah, that's why, like you said, it's a great thing that Dennis started up the Great Lakes Nostalgia Funny Car Circuit.
Yes. Yeah, it's a good thing. Jagger Naves also has Earth-Shaking Entertainment. He puts on some great events, well, for funny cars as well as altereds. He does it. It's not necessarily a strict group with rules. It's not. You don't really necessarily have to run a nostalgia body per se. Those type of events would be where I would run Firebird body. something like that, or if we would ever venture into, top alcohol or anything like that. That's possibly, I don't know the specifics on the rules and what they require these days. I'm sure I would have to do some updates with that body, but I can't foresee it being a whole lot because the car has went close to 300 miles an hour already. So we also have a 55 Chevy body that we're going to venture into. Still trying to button up the Smokey Bonz car that we have now. Just as we speak, earlier before I come in the house, we were doing our final fitting for changing our rear end to a floater rear end.
Yeah, maybe one day you can run the funny car cast, because funny car cast, you can bring any kind of funny car there.
Yeah, that would be great, for sure.
Yeah. So what year did you get your funny car license, Andrew?
Actually, I haven't gotten to get my license yet. I was hoping to get them last year, or at least get some track time. Unfortunately, with building one of these cars, there's a lot of safety things, red tape that you got to go through, and when I thought the car was ready to take out, if something would come up that would delay that, and we just ran out of the season. So I did get the car out. My parents live on a pretty desolate road, and I did get the car out on the road. There is a video of it on YouTube. But yeah, it was great. The car feels great. It went nice and straight. We didn't have any. We did have quite a bit of air pressure in the tire, so that it wasn't getting crazy hooking up hard for the first launch. But the motor is strong. We have a strong drivetrain now. Everything's solid. It did have a rear end in it that we just didn't feel safe with. That's why we went with the floater rear end.
So
but we hope to. I want to get. We're possibly doing Cecil County on March 30th, depending on if I can get my updates that I'm doing here now done, which I foresee shouldn't be a problem. And I have a few items that I'm waiting to get back to be certified. So you're looking to get
licensed this year?
Yes, definitely, as early as I can, because we have some events that we want to do this season.
Yeah, like Keystone.
Yeah, Keystone for sure. That's one that we definitely want to make June 2nd. Epping, Funny Cars Under the Stars. Either way, the car will be up there, as well as me and my dad, because my dad crews with George Ridenauer and Excalibur. Island, August is in August. Island, the Funny Car Throwdown. Plan on doing that. ATCO events and Cecil events in the summer and fall. Lebanon Valley possibly in September. We will be at the Dead Man's Curve. I believe Al and Rocky were talking about that on their interview. That's a 3-day event on Labor Day. It's the Tackle Fest and Car Show. And possibly doing some match racing down at the Snowbird Nationals in Florida in December. I believe it's December. Maybe it might be late January. Yeah, December. Pretty sure it's December.
So now, how many passes has your dad made with the Smokey Bonz car?
It's a brand new car. It's never, the chassis itself has been down the track. I don't really know the specific history on the chassis. I believe it was built in Ohio. So the chassis has been down the track. It was not a funny car before. It was an altered chassis, so there was some modifications I had to do, like the wing strut mounts were on the roll cage. I had the do some stuff there with removing them. But it's never been a funny car.
Yeah, okay. So
it's new build.
So last year at Keystone, did you guys run anything over there?
Excuse me?
Last year at Keystone, did you guys run a car at that event?
No, we were on the roster for the Funny Car Nationals, and like I said, we just couldn't get the little things that trip you up to get one of these cars on the track safely.
Okay, so this will be the debut of the Smokey Bonz car this year?
Yeah, this is a brand new program and car for the nostalgia drag racing scene here with the 7.0 index.
Okay. So your dad has drove behind the wheel of funny cars before?
No funny cars. This was a door slammer. That was a 110-inch wheelbase, maybe even a little shorter than that.
Okay, so you guys are...
For me, getting in the funny car, it's home to me because it feels like being in the dragster in a way. I'm back in the cage, and that's was my first thoughts whenever I sat in the car. Was, this feels good.
Now, Andrew, are there any funny car drivers that are out there that are inspirational to you?
Yeah, of course, Scott Collider was definitely was my favorite funny car driver. Eddie Hill was my favorite top fuel driver growing up.
Now, what made you come up with the name Smokey Bonz?
Okay, well, the car was built here at my house, shop garage here, and my house actually falls on the last house on the left, right next to a Spring Hill Cemetery. So that played a part in the idea that I came up with when I moved into this garage. There was a guy that had a machine shop here in the garage. Of course, all his equipment and stuff was auctioned off prior to me coming in there. But back in the back room, I found some old nostalgia drag racing pictures pinned up on the wall. So, from what I gather, the neighbors, the guy that lived here back in the day, he also was in the drag racing. So, it's kind of ironic that, I don't know what it is about this garage, but it seems like drag racing kind of keeps coming back around. You know what I mean? So that kind of, fell into the idea of it. And as far as the character, my dad came up with the character and all that.
No. Is the car blown alcohol or alcohol injected?
It's blown alcohol injected. And the smoky part comes in for long smoky burnouts. That's what we're focusing on. We're not going to be the quickest car out there, I can tell you, but I definitely want to make it that it's a car that everybody remembers. Yeah,
just like the frantic Ford Nitro car they were talking about. They're not looking to be the quickest car. They just want to put on a good show for the fans.
Exactly. That's what it's all about, the show. We have some plans up under our sleeve to kind of bring the show to, I'm not saying next level, but add a little bit of spice to the show. I mean, at the end of the day, it is an entertainment for the fans. And I think that's really what's for NHRA these days is it's so corporate and it's so repetitive that they want kind of like a fast food restaurant. They want every burger to be the exact same. They don't want no deviation from what they want to see being done and the people to see out there. And there's no distinct cars anymore. They all look like wedges to me. They all have plastered with sponsors. There's no characters like Jungle Jam and all those guys. Cyril Gritter.
Yeah.
And these are the guys these are the people that made drag racing what it is today, and they've lost touch with where they came from, and that's a big frown on my face on their part.
Yeah, the mongoose, the snake.
Yeah, all those. You know, they don't have that these days. It's unfortunate.
So now you were talking about long smoky burnouts. Are you going to be doing some dry hopping too?
Oh yeah, everything that you would see in the 60s and 70s era of drag racing, that's what you're going to get at these events. You're going to have hot backup girls. You're going to have long smoky burnouts. You have dry hops. I mean, these are the things that you're not getting with the big show. You're getting the big mouth power and the low ETs, but you know that's all well and fine. But we need to add a little more entertainment value to it, and that's what the nostalgia is all about: the fans and the show.
Yep. Just like I was saying with the Frantic Ford, that's what Rocky and Al and them want to do with that car, the dry hops and all that stuff, and backup girls and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, whenever me and Dad got back into drag racing, like I said, we went to the Funny Car Nationals, and as soon as they fired the cars up, it's like, this is where we need to get back to. This is what we did then, and this is what we want to do now. And like I said, I've been getting into a lot more fabricating, so I'm really enjoying learning from my dad. He's a wealth of knowledge. If anybody knows him, he's quite the mad scientist per se. There is a couple shout-outs that I'd like to give while we're talking about it. Definitely George Ridenauer. Bobby Toth's been a huge help for us. He drives the Time Bomb. There you go. Matt Stanball, he runs one of Bunny Burkett's cars. He's been a huge help for me whenever I get into some tricky areas that me and Dad just aren't familiar with, 20 car kind of issues. Johnny K, Pool Cow Racing Corvette, Rocky Crow, been a great help. Chris Mazzarella, me and Macy, my fiance, have worked with them when they needed a hand. Sweetman Brothers, they're a great group of guys. Bill Mays and Jagger Nays, like I said, they have the earth-shaking entertainment, and they're great people. Phil Landrum and his boy. Like I said, Phil's the one that's actually planted the seed for me and getting back into this whenever he went out to Michigan to meet the Easy Money coming out. So a lot of thanks to him.
Yeah, I did an interview with Phil. He was a good guy.
Yeah, great. The car was actually built in memory of Ron Wallace, who was the track owner of my home track when I was a kid, South Mountain Dragway, and John Bard, who was a longtime friend of my dad's, and he was a fellow drag racer at South Mountain. But both those gentlemen have passed, and they were a lot of memories with those guys.
So now, when you get this funny car out there, how many crew members you looking to have for this car?
Probably, at least three. Two people, my dad and maybe another person. But Macy, my fiance, she's the backup girl right now. She wants to venture into the seat someday. once she's a little more, gets a little more experience around the track and drag racing. My dad's obviously the crew chief and the boss of the whole operation and the brains behind it for sure. Macy Mack's father, Dan Mack, he's also a part of the crew. He's helped me along the way with some of the electrical issues, wiring my starter up, and wiring on some of the cars in some spots. My brother-in-law, Troy Ramsey, he helps out. My cousin, Mike Smith, and my buddy, Craig Holsinger. Those are primarily my go-to guys. And John Johnson as well. He's my neighbor. He's kind of been there from the beginning. He's watched me from across the street. He was battling cancer whenever I first started the car, so I would see him out on his porch when he was going through some tough times. So he's become a really close friend, and definitely plan on getting him out to some drag racing events to help out. Bard Racing Engines, can't say enough about them. They do all of our motor work. Curtis Hershey also does some of our lower end work, balancing and whatnot.
Well, maybe one day you'll get Macy your own funny car, and you could do like Chris and his wife Krista Mozzarella. Yeah, that's kind of the idea, and that goes along with bringing more entertainment value to these events. Of course, people. It's interesting to see, husband and wife go at it on the track for sure. I think she'll make a good driver. Now, do you have any kids?
Yes, I have a son, Ryder. He's 5. His name's Ryder Jackson Armstrong. Me and his mom and Noah are together. He lives in upstate New York. Like I said, I went to high school in upstate New York, and me and Ryder's mother were kind of high school sweethearts for a period of time, and reunited later on in life, and I've been blessed with my son Ryder.
So is Ryder like drag racing?
Yes. He's been to a couple events. Jungle Pam, she loves Ryder. All the women love Ryder. But yeah, he loves the drags. I'm not sure yet if he's got the adrenaline junkie thing per se, but me and my dad are definitely touched with that. If it gives you a thrill, we're into it.
Now, are you guys looking to have sponsors for the car?
Yeah, that would be great. We're in this for the fun at this point. Sponsors would definitely be a good thing. Maybe if pick up some local sponsors, or if any of these companies, D&J, help out a lot of the guys that we race with, anything fuels. If any of these companies wanted to get on board with Smokey Bonz gang, we're all for it.
Now, when you used to drive junior dragsters, you ever have any accidents with the junior dragsters?
Not on the track. I had a loading issue one time. We were taking both cars up to New Media. My dad was taking the Corvette up there for some research for the cage. So we had an issue with taking both cars up. So my dad made a rack for on the trailer, an open trailer, that we could put the Junior up on above the Corvette. Well, when I was driving the dragster up onto this rack, which was pretty high up off the ground, one of the ramps kicked out, and I was kind of hanging upside down. That was kind of scary, but that's the only thing that's ever really happened.
So, with the junior dragsters, what was the fastest time you had in the junior dragster?
Oh, what was that? You kind of broke up there.
I was like, what was the quickest time you had in the junior dragster?
My car at that time, it was a steel chassis car, so it was quite a bit heavier than some of the Chromoly cars out there. So I wasn't the fastest car. My car would run low 10s in the 8 at close to 80 miles an hour, 75 on average, 70.
So you won some trophies when you were doing junior dragster racing?
Yeah, me and my dad are actually talking about that tonight. They're still packed away at my parents' house in Lebanon, but yeah, there's quite a few boxes of trophies. Ranging from 12-inch high trophies to 4-foot trophies.
So when you got out of junior dragster, how old were you when you finished junior dragsters?
15. 14, 15, around that area. I know when I raced at Indy, I believe it was the first year I was there was an inaugural event, and I do know that there was some. I know Rhea Pritchett was there. I know Matt Hagen was there. A few other ones that are on the big show today were there.
So what was your greatest memory driving the junior dragster?
Probably would be an island event. Back then, you know how there's always a guy here on the East Coast that's tough to beat, and his name was James Antoinette, and he raced down in Englishtown, New Jersey, and yeah, he was a really tough competitor, and I actually got to pair up next to him in Island Dragway, and I treated him. I had I believe a 504 like to his 514. I won the race, and for some odd reason, down between the mount power beams and the finish line, my car had a hiccup, and that cost me the race by like 1/100,000th of a second. So after the race, he came over to me, and he said that you had me on that race, and that was definitely a memorable moment. Of course, racing at Indianapolis, that was memorable in itself. Just racing at Indy.
All right, you ready for me to ask you a few fun questions now?
Sure.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is pizza and beer, and then hot wings together.
So your favorite beverage would be beer then?
Yeah, my favorite import beer is Heineken. My favorite domestic beer is Miller Lite.
Music.
Well, how about non-alcoholic? What do you drink?
Alcoholic, for sure.
No,
I love the taste of beer regardless.
No, what's your favorite non-alcohol drink?
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. What's your favorite music?
My favorite band is Tool. I love everything from classical music, classic rock, to some of the stuff that's going on now.
You said Queen, right?
Tool.
Oh,
Tool. Yeah, Tool would be my, my new age favorite band per se, and probably the Doors would be my older favorite band.
Come on, baby, light my fire.
Yeah, man, how could you not like them more than the Doors?
So, do you like any of the San Francisco Bay thrash metal? Oh.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I know, but do you like any thrash metal?
You like metal at all?
Oh, yes, I love metal.
How about Slayer?
Definitely. Pantera, definitely one of my favorite bands. Megadeth.
What about Slayer?
All those bands I love. Judas Priest, big Judas Priest fan.
My wife was asking how about the band Slayer.
I'm not too big on Slayer. They got some pretty jamming songs, but it never really ventured into the Slayer.
Metallica?
Yeah, I like the old school Metallica. Their latest album is kick-ass. They've gotten back to their older sound stuff, which to me they kind of got away from, and it seems like they're right back to where they're at. Same with Korn's new album.
Fuck Korn. I hate Korn.
She hates Korn.
Yeah, well, they kind of went on a downhill slope too, but things like that they've gotten their sound back.
Korn to me are prima donnas.
Prima donna. Well, you know, some people like a little corn on the side, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So, what do you have any hobbies that you like to do besides, working on cars?
Yeah, I love to play the drums. I love to do artwork, draw, paint, anything like that. I like to fly drones. That's kind of the recent thing that my dad's gotten me into. That seems like that could become a problem. If you understand the textbook per se.
No.
Like to go to the beach for vacation. I go to Outer Banks every year. That's always a good time. And then, of course, wherever the drag races are on that weekend, that's what I like to do.
So if you and Macy ever go on vacation, you have a favorite vacation spot?
Yeah, definitely the Outer Banks.
All right. So now, Andrew, if you were able to do time travel and go back in time, would you do anything differently with your life?
Yeah, I probably would have.
Try to get in a funny car earlier?
I probably would have appreciated some of the things that my dad was teaching me back then. I really, I didn't really fully take interest in everything that he had to show me. But as I've gotten older, our relationship has gotten to where I'm very blessed to have a father like my dad.
Okay.
So if I had one wish, I would go back in time to my age now to when my dad was my age. That would be my wish.
Okay. Now, Andrew, what's your favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie? Well, comedy would be Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Horror movie would be the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre or The Exorcist.
So what's your favorite genre of movie? Horror movies and comedy?
Yeah, horror movies for sure. Drama, thriller would be second, and then comedies would be third.
So do you ever watch TV at all?
Yeah, I watch some TV, like miniseries shows. I really like Sons of Anarchy. My favorite show was Breaking Bad.
So who's your favorite actor?
My favorite actor male would be Johnny Depp. Female, Jennifer Aniston.
Who's your favorite actress?
Jennifer Aniston.
Okay, Jennifer Aniston. Okay. Now, what else? If someone asked you to build them a drag race track and gave you $150 million, where would you want to build a track, and what kind of features would you want to put into the track?
Well, I would definitely want the track in a secluded area that you wouldn't have any issues like Englishtown had recently with the noise ordinances. I would have it that it would be fan friendly for the grandstands area, shading. From a track standpoint, would definitely have it that we could control the surface temperatures, for the first 300 feet or whatever. Other than that, just new technology with Bluetooth, stuff like that.
All right. So now, how important do you think it is for the kids to get out to the drag racing events?
Excuse me?
How important do you think it is for kids to come out to drag racing?
I'm not quite sure. I couldn't really hear what you said there. It was an echo.
I said, how important do you feel it is for kids to come out to see drag racing?
Oh, I think that's, without them, the sport will die, because it is a family sport, and it's all about the kids and making memories in that. So, yeah, it's very important for kids to experience some of those things that are out there. Kids have lost touch with getting their hands dirty. The schools are eliminating shop classes. Music classes are being cut. These are things that, in my opinion, should be pushed harder.
Yeah, the kids are too involved in video games at home.
Yes, it's definitely not healthy. At least to the magnitude that the kids are taking it.
Yeah.
You got to get outside. You got to, enjoy life. I mean, at the end of the day, you got a video game and you got an avatar on there with, stats. Nothing in the real physical world.
Yeah. So, Andrew, I want to thank you for your time. Do you have any final words for all the people listening and out there?
Yes, I'd like to give a shout out to my beautiful mother. Of course, my father. Can't say enough about him. Very blessed with the parents that I have and the family that I have, and friends.
Okay. Well,
and maybe we can do another interview later on in the season, and I can have a little bit more updated stuff with my license and how the car is going.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks again for the time.
Yes, no problem. Anytime, buddy.
All right, you have a good night, Andrew.
Yep, you as well.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was Andrew Armstrong, future funny car driver. Hope you enjoyed the interview. We'll have more interviews this week. Stay tuned. Look for the events. Have a good night. Keep on drag racing. Bye-bye.